Unreal Engine 5 is here. This is probably Valorant's biggest update ever, but it's quite hidden. It's actually very, very discreet. What you're watching right now is Unreal Engine 4. I'm just making sure I'm setting up settings, and we're going to see what happened to our frame rates. Did our frame rates go bye-bye and everyone's fear come true with optimizations going down the drain? Well, I made sure to set up a few variables. The exact same skin, exact same agent will go into the range somewhere we can control, and I looked in a straight line. I just transitioned to UE5 right there. You didn't even notice, but if we were to zoom in, something interesting is happening here. With Unreal Engine 4, I'm actually getting a lot less stable frames, and with Unreal Engine 5, it's a lot more stable frames. Now, without any textures in the way, I decided to look straight at a wall and try again to see if the total high frames would go up. In this case, not so much. It's actually maybe a little bit lower, but the top end of the frame is the exact same. Now, while gameplay is going on, switching between Unreal Engine 4 and 5, you can't really notice a difference, so let's zoom into the FPS. You're going to notice that the overall stability is pretty much the same. There isn't too much going on. I see a little bit more dips with Unreal Engine 5 into the 500s, but nothing insane. With abilities running back and forth, it switched as I entered the door there. We're going to zoom in, and you're going to notice, again, not too much is going on. I see a little bit more dips into the 6 with Unreal Engine 5, a little bit more, but the very first test is the most important one, because when just looking statically and not moving anything, I actually had a lot more stability with Unreal Engine 5. I'm not too sure. This is likely not going to be universal, because with anything on PC, things change a lot based off hardware. I am lucky. I'm a content creator. I have a 5080. I have everything maxed out, basically. I think I have 64 gigs of RAM. It doesn't really matter for me. But the top end of the frame, I can test because of the powerful PC. It's the same. I am personally finding a little bit more stability overall, but I need to know what you guys are finding, especially with low-end hardware. If you have 100 frames or less, please let me know how much frames you're getting. I want to know, because here in the deathmatch, someone you already saw complain in the bottom left. They're asking if the frames are weird for anyone else. They're not weird for me, but if he's saying he's having weird frames, no way he's the only one. So I need information. I need comments. I need experiences. Let me know down below in the comments your experience with the Unreal Engine 5 update, the frames you're getting, bugs, etc. Because maybe I can make a follow-up video, especially with what the community finds out and the community's experience. Funny enough, not much else is happening with Unreal Engine 5. We have some new UI changes in the skins section. Like if you go to a skin, it looks a lot cleaner. It's a lot more modernized, looks a little bit less indie. Also, when you actually preview a skin, you can choose the variant and they're labeled correctly, and then also darkens the background and shows a nice larger preview with better quality, which is a fantastic change, of course. But then, other than the frame rates, which to be honest, for me, haven't changed much, just a little more stability, and the new UI, Valorant's biggest update to date has nothing else happening. Just some bug fixes and the main port. It is a big update. I think for me it was 22 gigabytes to update. So a lot of people will have to update their game. Depending on your internet speed, it might be a little bit of a hassle. But otherwise, what exactly is going on? I mean, having the biggest update and then everything feeling the exact same is weird from a player's perspective. Now, first thing I'm going to note is this is not going to be hassle-free. One, there's definitely going to be people with issues. Apparently, there's already some deadlock abilities on certain sites that aren't working the same way they should have, and I wonder now with Cypher, like, is there some Cypher trips that aren't working the way they should? I'm pushing this video out day one, but I need to let things marinate. So also in the comments, if you've seen anything on Reddit, if you've seen anything happen, let me know where to search it, and I want to compile as much information as I can when it comes to this engine transition, because I'm already seeing some stuff, like I mentioned, abilities. Apparently right now I literally refreshed the page. Yep, there is a new way for Omen to teleport outside the map. Omen can now teleport outside the map. That's just going to be part of the process on such a big update. There's going to be a lot of spaghetti code and a lot of big bugs. Really, the reason Riot didn't push anything other than those new skins, which I don't know if they're supposed to be the Unreal Engine 5 skins. I kind of hope not. To me, they're a little bit underwhelming, but if they're supposed to be the Unreal Engine 5 skins, you know, it's not showing too much of what's capable yet on the new engine. Yet, the new engine is all about long-term horizon. Riot has mentioned the last 5 years, you know, are basically nothing for Valorant. They want the next decade. They want the next decade and beyond to be better and better. So this is all a play for the long term of new content and new features that Valorant will obtain, some of which we already know. For example, when you actually listen to the original announcement for Unreal Engine 5, it is stated that it won't change the way Valorant performs or looks, but it's left with an immediate annotation, which is right away. So basically, she says that it won't change the way Valorant looks or performs, at least not right away. That's the full statement. And I think that leans in towards there is a fact that, like, let's say graphically, Valorant might get a little sharper, or the overall style will stay the same, but maybe some new things will be added to change the look a bit. Same thing with the whole performance thing back then when they announced it, which is somewhat true because it did get altered a bit. But overall, I think Riot's done a good job on the frame rate, at least for me. I was able to boot up. Nothing felt different to me. But again, that's quite an isolated experience. All right, so we have that. Another thing is that when Unreal Engine 5 was first announced, and now that we have it here, it was also announced with the idea that they can expand what is possible for the game.
There are many developers back at Riot who are very excited about what UE5 can do for us in the future. Maybe those devs are working on something I can't talk about. Maybe those devs are thinking about ways to expand the Val universe into new playable experiences.
Quite literally, straight up, just new experiences, especially the one about expanding the Valorant universe. I think that one is the most interesting. I've touched on it before. We could literally have Valorant either story mode or co-op or actual real events, which is something that I really believe, because they know Valorant's a live service game, right? We all know Valorant's a live service game, but that live aspect sometimes does lack in Valorant because of its nature, right? Because it is a competitive shooter, it sometimes feels like it lacks in the feeling of that live content, the engagement with the community, something we can all do together, something we all look forward together, right? All we've got are rank resets with buddies as rewards as numbers, right? We've mentioned that a lot. I won't dive into it. But the new engine's supposed to allow the developers to work on brand new ideas that were never possible before. Actually, it was clearly stated that Unreal Engine 4 was pushed to its limits, right? So that could be, I wonder if that's actually a big case on why we haven't got a lot of big new stuff. I wonder if they really did try and it didn't work well with Unreal Engine 4, and this might be a turning point. So I'm also excited to know if there'll be a huge turning point here and a lot more content to come.
Everything around really, really easily to explore those totally hypothetical new playable experiences. So maybe you'll see me or someone from my team up here in the future with a very different sort of presence.
Like the fact she's just straight up says playable experiences is all I needed back when they first announced in October 2024. And now we're like past mid 2025. It's cool that it's not only finally here, it's crazy how long ago it was like that it was announced. Not only is it finally here, but I believe it released with the concept of everything being ramped up, meaning they announced it but then they didn't release Unreal Engine 5 without a lot of backlog already ready. And let me explain why. Because it was also confirmed that the replay system is supposed to be coming out in September, right? So this September, we're supposed to get the replay system, meaning Unreal Engine 5 releases now. There's basically just 1 month of testing it, making sure that it implemented well, and then 1 month of getting the replay system ready. So it kind of makes me believe that a lot has been in the works for a while, and that the new engine overall is going to be followed with a lot of new things to come. I do wonder if we're gonna get crazier skins that bring up the visuals. I hope it's definitely not the summer themed skin we just got. I hope that was nothing to do with it. I wonder if new playable experiences are as soon as this holiday or earlier, maybe themed. Like maybe it's not even, like they said Valorant universe, but maybe it can go beyond lore. Maybe a Halloween based minigame that is a lot more interactive that the community can play. Just little fun stuff. Of course, it's not gonna change the base of Valorant, but it'll definitely make it more engaging with the community. Stuff that are maybe actually holiday themed game modes. Remember Snowball Fight, maybe something like that. But like Snowball Fight, if you guys remember, actually had a lot of unique stuff, from the presents, the stuff that exploded, stuff that we really like. Now that if you think about it, it's like, damn, that used to be in Valorant. So imagine that on steroids with a lot more they can do with Unreal Engine 5. That overall does get me excited. So new playable experiences, replay system, and more coming to the game. While today wasn't a big patch, or I guess today not a lot got added, we can probably, fingers crossed, expect a lot more in the near future from Valorant into late 2025 and early 2026. I'm hopeful. I'm hoping. We all want to shake up. We all want more content. So fingers crossed. But let me know what you think down below. And again, big experiences. I want to know the experiences on the engine update.